Welcome to a special edition of the Nth Degree. We are here on site at the Omnidynamic Agility in Media and Creative event. I'm Amanda Preto, and I'm here with Zack Kass, head of GTM from OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT. We've just seen a keynote and fireside chat with Zack and Justin Freed. Zack, we'd love to hear from you here. What's next in terms of AI and the healthcare space? What do we have to look forward to?
I think you should imagine a world where both the life sciences, so the ways that we're producing the drugs, accelerates at an incredible rate. I personally believe that we'll cure a lot of the uncurable diseases today within the decade. And I think you'll also then see on the other side, on the customer and the consumer side, a rapid move towards personalization, customization, and overall improvement in healthcare quality, triaging, treating, understanding patients' needs better. These are all things that will become staples today that we sort of consider luxuries reserved for concierge medicine right now.
So exciting. We can't wait for that. Thanks so much for being here, Zack. Hi, welcome to the Nth Degree, where we're talking about the latest trends, technologies, and innovations happening across the healthcare and media spaces today. I'm excited to welcome you to this special edition of our show, focused on the Omnidynamic Agility in Media and Creative topic. A couple of weeks ago, we were in Philadelphia future thinking about how AI will impact media buying and planning, and we're here today to recap that for you. Let's get started. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Jose Ferreira, who is a regular guest on the Nth Degree. Not only is he our EVP of Product Strategy and Transformation, but he is also the one who coined the term Omnidynamic that we've been using in the market and that is gaining traction in the market. So Jose, we'd love to hear from you. Overall, the theme of our Omnidynamic event was how is AI impacting and going to impact media planning and buying in the future? And I'd also just love to hear from you. How do you define what Omnidynamic means and what it really means for healthcare brands?
Sure. So I think first off, the definition of omnidynamic and how I've been applying it is really thinking about it from kind of its antecedents, where it's come from and where it's going. So the term omnichannel has been a hot topic in our industry for a few years now. And really, omnichannel is about orchestrating messages across a variety of touch points. It's being able to tell a story in paid media, owned media, and through sales reps, etc. Where I think that now is transforming into omnidynamic is being able to be really dynamic in the moment. And that's where you're starting to layer in DCO, dynamic creative optimization, on top of those narratives. So in the specific moment, a customer might get different iterations of messages. So we can test, we can train an algorithm to know what is going to be most opportune for that specific customer or patient HCP in that specific moment. And that's where we're taking kind of this concept of omnichannel and taking it to kind of a new level. I think also another component of omnidynamic is really extending the concept of omnichannel to a larger kind of pool of media investment or promotional investment, I should say, not necessarily just restricted to media. So inclusive of healthcare professional, consumer, and all other stakeholders that are involved in the decision-making process for the selection of different products that are going to treat an end patient. So all of those things working in conjunction and becoming more aligned and dynamic in the moment.
Hi, I'm excited to have Julie Hurvitz Aliaga here with us. Julie, a couple of weeks ago, you led an incredible panel. It was called Moving at the Speed of Conscience, and it was really about where there are opportunities, but also some cautions we need to watch for, especially in the healthcare media space in terms of AI. So I'd just love to hear from you, again, where your thoughts are with what we have to look forward to and what we have to look out for.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda. So it was quite an exciting panel. Very fortunate to have been part of it. And I think from an AI perspective, we learned throughout the day that there's so much we can be doing to speed up what we do all day, every day, right? So freeing up time for us to have more time to be strategic partners to our clients, to each other, more time for us to really think through some of those strategy pieces and kind of cut through some of the time that we lose in some of the mundane tasks that we do all day, every day. something that I'm very excited about for the healthcare media space in particular is how AI and content specifically can be an opportunity for us to rethink and reshape how we get that work done quicker, more efficiently, more effectively, right? So that's one piece. But with that, I think we also talked through how there are a lot of cautions, right? It is still very new to everyone, not just the healthcare industry. And coming from the background that we all have within the pharmaceutical space, within the healthcare space, within regulated spaces like ours, we do have to think through what this means for us, right? So again, there's a lot still unknown when it comes to AI, paired with a regulated industry like the pharmaceutical industry that we all are in. It's very important for us to really think through how we're going to use AI, and how we're going to use it for good, right? So those are some of the pieces that we talked through in our session. But I think the good news is there's a lot to be excited about. I think we have a lot of brilliant minds that were on the panel that were with us throughout that day and with us throughout our industry. And I look to anything new, like we had social back in the day. Let's move quickly, but let's also think through any of those implications that we just talked about.
That's awesome. Thank you, Julie. So futuristic with a humanistic approach is still needed. Thanks so much for that. All right, so great. We also have our Chief Technology Officer, Oleg Korenfeld, who joined us today and was another one of our speakers at the Omnidynamic event. So Oleg, we'd love to hear from you. You said something that really stuck with me, that there is no such thing as artificial intelligence, right? That without that human approach, that human touch, it wouldn't exist. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And then again, something else that humans innovate and AI iterates. So let's take us down that road and where you think we're going to be able to leverage tech as we continue in our space.
Sure. It's not that AI as a term is not relevant. I was talking more about just taking the intelligence element of what we're trying to achieve, and I don't want to go down the kind of the road of some kind of philosophical road of defining what the word intelligence means. All I meant was that when we're trying to compare artificial decisioning to human intelligence, that's where the key is. And when I think about what truly is driving what we call artificial intelligence today, it is human intelligence. And to answer the second question about opportunities, I think there's a good way to look at it: opportunities that are immediate and opportunities that are a bit future facing, and what are easier to land versus what will take more time. There's great opportunities in creative personalization, in in-market optimizations of media, in audience analysis. All of these things absolutely are on the table, and we will take time to figure out how to truly make them practical. What I see is immediate opportunities that will truly transform how companies view their marketing is task automation. There's a lot of tasks that are performed at every single stage of our marketing process that are done manually still today, which absolutely can be driven by machine learned optimizations, where you take those rule-based approaches and you just automate them. What that does is it creates this concept of speed and accuracy to market of all these tasks. So one, we get our messaging and market quicker. The second piece, which is even bigger, it creates all this time for people who historically been spending that time working and managing these manual tasks to make sure there's no mistakes. Now, when they're trusting machines to do this work, they can focus more on creativity and strategy, which is at the core of human intelligence. So that kind of comes back all the way around.
All right. So Jose, Oleg, Julie, being as close as you are to our clients' work and what we're looking to deliver to them and help them achieve the Holy Grail, which is a one-to-one conversation with their customers, what do you think our clients are thinking about in terms of what they're excited about and what they're concerned about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So coming out of this day, I had a chance to really catch up with a lot of our clients after the panels. And I think they were left with so much excitement for the future, mainly excitement to partner with us, right? So I think whenever there's a new and innovative buzzword, idea, whatever you want to call it, I love when a client comes up and says, this is such an opportunity for us as an industry to really think through what this could mean for us in the next couple of years. And that's the type of conversations we were having post panel discussions, which were, hey, let's schedule a lunch, let's schedule a brainstorm session. Let's really whiteboard out what this could look like for my brand and for my organization. And I think, again, the most excitement that I was hearing was, could this free up time for us to really think more strategically, have more time for us to think through some of the things we just, quite honestly, just don't have the time to do because we are so tied up with the everyday tasks that AI could potentially help ease the burden on. So that was a big piece that they were excited about. Like I had mentioned content earlier, I think a lot of them are also excited to hear how we could leverage our brains, because we don't want to lose the brains that our creative partners have because they're brilliant. But how do we leverage the existing strategy and brains of our creative partners and our media partners internally here, but then speed up some of the processes with AI-driven technologies that are directly related to content too. So those are the two biggest areas after the conference when we caught up with some of our clients that they were most excited about, which was great to hear, very much in line with what we've been thinking.
I had a couple of really good conversations with clients at the event and after the event. And I feel like the one message that I felt came across is initially the term AI is so big and it could mean so many different things. Bringing it down into very specific use cases and saying, here's where it could work and here's how it will work, really grounded it in reality and made it kind of clear in their minds and say, okay, I see how my partner, like an agency, could use it, but what does that do to my organization now to coordinate with that? So to me, I feel like that's the biggest piece, like making it real to a specific set of use cases.
And I think I started to allude a little bit to it, but where AI and machine learning are going to have an impact is in those learning algorithms about kind of dynamic creative optimization in the moment, which kind of combination of text and imagery is going to resonate most with customers. I think it's kind of low hanging fruit opportunities. There's a lot of stuff around process automation that is going to impact our ability to scale these kinds of offerings. And then probably more of a year or two down the line, I think AI will have the capability to at least create kind of baseline campaigns in the omni-channel sphere. And we'll be able to learn from them and refine the sequencing of messages using more computing power than kind of our subjective understanding of what customers need in a specific moment. So yeah, I think there's a lot happening, a lot of exciting stuff, and then I think the session or the event that we had was a great kind of touchstone to see where we are today and kind of where we're going into the future. So it was great to get everybody's input on all these great topics.
Yeah, exactly. I think that how to get started was a huge takeaway, right? And that's where you come in and your teams on guiding our clients on how this will make sense for their business and these brands. All right. And knowing we've already been in market and you've been putting this theory into practice, Oleg and Julie, can you talk to us about what we're already doing with our clients? Let's hear from Oleg first.
Sure. So in the middle of summer, we launched our first campaign trafficking bot. What that bot does is it takes the manual process of setting up campaigns in ad servers and automates it. Historically, just for the record, it takes about 2 weeks on average for the industry to set up a campaign fully from the beginning. Set up campaign in ad server and make it available for activation. With the introduction of the bot, we cut that time in half. Now, that is a huge number. Making these campaigns available to go live in market in half the time, I feel like is a really big statement here.
Yeah, that's incredible. How about from your team, Julie?
Yeah, so as I've been mentioning, we are really looking towards how AI can help to really streamline and optimize our campaigns that might already be in market, right? So working closely with a lot of our agency partners, working closely with our media teams on optimizing creative while we are in the middle of a campaign, in the middle of a year, without having to go back to the drawing board, right? So how can we leverage and create, in partnership with a lot of the stuff that Oleg's team is doing on the product dev side. How can we make sure that we are staying ahead of creative refreshes and getting that through MLR approvals and getting it through internal approvals a lot quicker? And through AI, we truly know that this is going to be the future of how we continue to push media forward and optimize our campaigns. And another area that we've been already working on now for, I would say, a number of years, maybe even 4 years at this point, or 5 years coming up on, is how we leverage AI for research. So a big part of our research and intelligence group is within social intelligence. And when we started this journey of how we can look to AI to really understand the conversations that are happening out there throughout social media channels, we've been able to, with our partners, leverage AI technologies to make sure that any of the conversations that we're pulling are speaking to a pharma community, are speaking from the pharma lens, right? So using AI, we can also sift through a lot of the noise that's out there that does not mean anything to our healthcare and pharma community, and really get to the conversations that we're looking to understand, the patients, the healthcare professionals. And again, that's only going to continue to grow as the machines really learn how to speak to our industry. So that's been another really significant opportunity for our team and our healthcare community, is to leverage some of the behavioral opportunities and language opportunities within the AI systems, so that we are kind of saving time on developing strategies, leveraging the conversations that are happening out there within the social media channels. And then also, I'll say too, the future of research as well. How can we get to a place where AI is also assisting in some of our data mining, in understanding how to kind of sift through a lot of those conversations, is another place that I think our industry can be looking toward.
So exciting. Thanks for that, Julie. So much to look forward to. Thank you again to our omni-channel experts who joined us today to talk about how AI is going to impact media planning and buying in the future, all the things we have to look forward to, and where there are some, quote, unintended consequences to look out for. Thanks for joining the Nth Degree.